One of the most talked about moments last night was Tulsi Gabbard saying that President Trump has blood on his hands for ordering our troops out of northern Syria. She blamed lawmakers on both sides for supporting what she calls the regime change war, and she said that about 25 times. She blasted CNN and the New York Times, which were hosting the debate, for their attacks on her. Watch.
New York Times and CNN have also smeared veterans like myself for calling for an end to this regime change war. Just 2 days ago, the New York Times put out an article saying that I'm a Russian asset and an Assad apologist and all these different smears. This morning, a CNN commentator said on national television that I'm an asset of Russia. Completely despicable.
Let's bring in Rebeccah Heinrichs, senior fellow at the Hudson Institute. I want to start there, Rebeccah, with her pushback against both the moderators, CNN and the New York Times, justified in her outrage about that.
I think she's justified. I think that some of those articles, if they didn't explicitly call her a Russian asset, are definitely implying that she is, because she takes contrary positions on foreign policy. So I think she's right to be furious about that. It seems like anytime the media doesn't like a candidate, but whether it's Tulsi Gabbard or Donald Trump, they start blaming Russia in some sort of conspiracy to help the Russians.
But she did say this regime change war, and I wanted to get your take on this, because was she talking about Assad? Because, as I recall, under President Obama and under President Trump, regime change for Assad, that was off the table.
That was off the table, and President Obama received all kinds of flack because of his hesitation for punishing Assad for his use of chemical weapons against his own people. And so she's wrong about the assessment of that. Assad is still in power in Syria. So Tulsi Gabbard, I think of her as sort of the Frankenstein of foreign policy. She wants to be hailed as the peace candidate simply because she insists that the United States should have peace. But all of her solutions for achieving peace go contrary to achieving peace, whether it's decimating the defense budget, cutting American nuclear weapons, or partnering with Assad butchers, butcher like Assad or Vladimir Putin.
Well, she had an exchange with a fellow Democratic 2020 nominee, or a candidate, and also a veteran, Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Let's watch a little bit of that exchange.
Deployed, I knew one of the things keeping me safe was the fact that the flag on my shoulder represented a country known to keep its word.
So really what you're saying, Mayor Pete, is that you would continue to support having U.S. troops in Syria for an indefinite period of time to continue this regime change war that has caused so many refugees to flee Syria.
Or you can put an end to endless war without embracing Donald Trump's policy.
Will you end the regime change war is the question.
What we are doing.
What is an endless war if it's not yet another regime change war?
Rebeccah, you follow this very closely, and I just wonder if you think that that was a good distillation of where the debate stands, maybe across the country or even within the Democratic Party?
I think it was an important moment. That's why Tulsi Gabbard is still popular, because among Republicans and Democrats, because she is against these endless wars. And it's very difficult for somebody like Pete Buttigieg to explain what he has as an alternative. I would argue that what President Trump has done is he's ruined some trust, or he's put a crack in some trust in Republicans for the way he's gone about trying to withdraw from Syria. And so Pete has a hard time explaining about what an alternative it is. But because President Trump made this sudden announcement they're going to withdraw, our troops are in harm's way. Our evacuation is causing problems. Turkey is violating agreements and threatening U.S. forces there. We could have a rise of ISIS, and we are abandoning the Kurds who have helped the United States. All of these are problems that are presented by the way President Trump has suddenly withdrawn. But you have to have an alternative. If not this way, then how do we do it? Coordinate and collaborate with allies.
President Trump addressed all of those points in his press conference a little bit earlier today when he was there with the president of Italy there in the East Room. Thank you so much, Rebeccah Heinrichs.